Start at www.qb.pl in 91 languages in chapter TS001. Cassettes. They surrounded the cottage. They walked around and stood behind the net. Are you kidding me? Hombre said to Rico, you sit down. Rico hit the sentry board. He uncovered some metal plates, under which an old Volkswagen Beetle was revealed. Go ahead, life is waiting.
He tossed the keys and Hombre scrambled into the dirty interior.
Let's turn this plan on its head. Are you kidding me? Rico asked. Go and get it sorted. Are you okay with the car? It answers, and what else can you get there? Hombre grunted as he hit the clutch. Rico waved and called his people to leave. Carolina stopped him around the bend and quickly, stealthily so that no one could see her, rubbed in, putting the fuel bulb backwards. There is nowhere to refuel. You won't get there on one tank. What a bitch you are. Hombre was glad she showed up. Bet on me on the lottery. What about Mariolo? He's tired, broke and scared. Rica area? She came by herself. She told them about her sons, when Chiagu had given her a suitcase with heads. Carolina was looking at the road. Don't send her over here. Common sense dictates it. She wants to delete me. If you had checked it out, the information might have come in handy. She stated. Hombre, to put it mildly, distrusted Rick's wife. He must have been looking weird because Carolina asked softly. Do you want to pray? I'm not very religious. I knew a guy whose Bible stopped a bullet on his chest. What are you, if he had a second Bible? But he was too religious and the Bible was not on his liver, on the liver? He asked without conviction. He had a thin mustache and a black voice, or maybe the other way around when he was dying. She became emotional. Nobody lives forever. He replied deftly. Elvis tried. Carolina took a chance. They arrived in the morning, when the town was in frost and fog. The airport was along the highway, but they passed it and into an intricate maze of alleys, where they took side roads to a small bank. The city was still asleep, but a thin little man with glasses like the bottoms of bottles waited at the bank door. Senior Hombre, hello, please follow me, disappeared in the shadows. They followed him and he was already pushing big parcels on the wheels. He helped load everything into the Beetle. Hombre knew they wouldn't go too fast with such a load. They drove to the airport where the pilot had an appointment. The plane was waiting and they transferred the parcels to the transport box in the avionet. They saw several figures running towards them from the side of the tower. Carolina pointed to the pilot that was approaching the booth. Don't be bothered, get away from the alarm. Where are your supervisors? Carolina shouted. Hombre gently gestured to him at the controls. The pilot, resigned, began to take off and the plane, shaking and huffing, began to circle around the waist. Shall we shoot one at a time? Carolina asked, pointing to the joggers. No splashes only. The last one splashed a little. Hombre joked. The pilot peed himself and began reporting nervously. B5 connect. Echo, 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 5-0, Nordpol. 2, circle, don't take off. The loudspeaker ordered. Stop him, ... The screams of the operators in the tower were heard. It's the one, right here. More scraps of conversation and everything died down. They rose so sharply that the people below fell in different directions, and after a while the roar of the engines turned into a continuous rhythm. The city disappeared below, and Hombre wondered who was going to take their load. Carolina had the pilot at gunpoint and dictated the course by changing the fixed azimuth. She took the map from the cockpit shelf and with the ruler of the azimuth rose drew a new line for the next rose. She gave the course to the pilot taking an 8-degree correction of the northwest in this climate for the deflection of the compass with wing defrosting enabled. The little machine was thrust following abruptly, but the pilot said it could handle it. Hombre was sucking on rum and when after half an hour they approached the radio distance, he started calling a landing site. There was nothing to hear except for the crackling. He moved to the seat next to the remote control. There is no contact with the tower. The pilot was talking. Switch the radar and wing defrosting otherwise error, we will even have 10 degrees north. Eliminate the compass reading error. Deviation nord-nordist. The pilot did it all the more willingly because the fuel was running out and they were still above the clouds. Seeing a hole in the clouds and small squares of fields in it, they dived and found themselves under the ceiling. The landing field looked like a parade ground. So they were expected. They rose once more and turned westward above the clouds. They saw a government helicopter take off behind them, but they chose speed. They landed on an ordinary highway and plunged into the green with the plane. They masked him as much as possible. Start at www.qb.pl in 91 languages, in chapter TS001.